Hello there, I'd like to just do a quick little video on fuel storage. If you're anything like me, you might get some inclement weather, hurricanes, power outages, or you just might want to go tailgate. Or if you'd like to run flamethrowers, mowers, you might want to put back a little fuel. Right here you see I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and then these are both 2.5 gallons, so that's roughly 35. After filling them up, I don't fill them all the way up to top. It's around 33 gallons, give or take, for all of this. It's got a bit of gas, but the reason I run this type of fuel storage is because, hey, you got a family member, friend, they're running out of gas. It's really quick and easy for me just to grab a can, go help them out. Doesn't happen often. I mostly hang around responsible individuals, so not that often that people run out of gas. But what type of fuel I'm running? This is non-ethanol gas. The reason why I run non-ethanol gas is non-ethanol gas doesn't tend to break down as quickly as your regular standard gas with 10% ethanol. My understanding is 10% ethanol gas starts to break down somewhere around the 30-day mark, and this is kind of a bit of gas to have to cycle through every 30 days. It's after the 30-day mark, it can start to break down. My understanding, it can start to gel, it can clog up injectors, it can start to build up deposits in the line, and it attracts water. Water can cause corrosion and other issues. So I run non-ethanol gas. The way I work these is I will usually hold on to them for about 3-ish to 4 months, and then I'll top off my vehicles, and of course I'll be using them, using the fuel in between that as well. But usually if I get down below 20 gallons, I usually start to cycle out all of it and replace it. But since it's been a while for me, I just decided to top off all my vehicles and go ahead and get it refreshed. So I'm just going to show you what I do for fuel storage. Oh, and also non-ethanol gas tends to keep longer. My understanding is it's about 3 to 6 months before it starts breaking down. And it doesn't break us down as aggressively as standard gas. So then I use some fuel storage. This is the stable fuel stabilizer, and it's supposed to keep it for 24 months. I have known people to kind of push it up there, but I'm not comfortable keeping fuel around that long. This does have a date here, which I'm assuming this is the production date. It might not be 10/23, and it's 2/9 right now, 24. So what I'm gonna do, I do go through this pretty quickly, but we can go ahead and date it 2/9/24, just to make sure this isn't too old. And of course, oxygen is the enemy of a lot of this stuff. I've already loosened the caps to be proactive. Let's pop that. Didn't have any dirt on it. I'm not too worried. And I guess we can start on the small end. So these are 2.5 gallons. So we look on the instructions on the back. Let's see. 1 ounce, 30 mils, 2.5 gallons. So pretty simple. For one of these bottles, it's got the little tube that goes up, squeeze it. And I don't mind going a little over, that's fine. So I'm right at the 1 ounce. I usually turn it so none goes out the back end and just dump it. Done. And I'll tighten these down later. With these newer EPA compliance nozzles, I really hate them. You have to press, and then you put it on the lip of the tank or the rim, and you kind of push down, and it allows gas. You push more aggressively to allow more to come out. It's got a little air intake, that's that small little nozzle there. I hate these. I find out that they spill a lot, and they also, the bad problem is they don't have a cap. So guess what? You get a lot of dirt, dust, and debris in there. So what I do is I just take a plastic bag, like a Walmart bag, stick it over here, maybe 2-bag it, and then I tie a knot down here around here, or secure it here. That way when it's storing, no dust debris gets inside of that. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's do it. Oop, a little overshot. It's not gonna hurt anything. Okay, a little over an ounce. Top it off. Now we're gonna move to our 5-gallon containers. Now these have somewhere around 4.5, but I'm still gonna give it a 5-gallon dose. Oh, and I also forgot, I'm also using a little Lucas injector cleaner. Now, I don't mind running small amounts in this in my vehicles because I do run regular gasoline in them, but this is an injector cleaner, and since I have a couple generators, flamethrower, mower, I don't mind just putting a little dab in here because it's for 100 gallons. I top everyone off just a little bit with this injector cleaner. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. Now, I have done significantly less research on the Lucas injector cleaner. At least last time I looked up, this is a pretty good brand for fuel stabilizer. So let's go ahead and continue. Just at least get here to get these capped off so no dust, debris, or bugs get in there. About once a year, I'd say I probably do cycle through these fuel canisters 3 to 4 times a year, and around once a year I will, once the tank's clean, I'll make sure I have all the gas out of it. Now that actually gets me. Did I actually put stabilizer in here? Gosh, I don't want to go back and rewatch the video, but guess what? It's not, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. 5 gallons, 2.5, so this would be about, what, 2 ounces? Let's see, so 2 ounces. If I go a little over, it won't hurt anything, especially when you're diluted this much. 30 mil. Got distracted when I was talking. Since I put just a little tab of this, hey, it might be double dipping. Lost track. But now I know. Now I know. As I was saying, I believe this fuel stabilizer is a pretty good stabilizer, but as you know, technology and blends do change, so in the future there could be better blends. So every couple of years I'll take a look and see what new products are out there. Really good YouTube channel I like to watch reviews on would be like Project Farm. I kind of like how they compare stuff. I don't think they've done a fuel stabilizer video in a little while. Pretty good. But as I was saying, about every year I'll take these containers after they're empty and I will actually rinse them out with some water, tap water. Turn them on the side, let them completely dry, or try to get all the water out, because depending on where you go, even if it's a fairly nice gas station, they still get a little gunk or crud in the tank. So I just don't want that going into my vehicles or generators as much as I can prevent. So I like to clean out my tanks, make sure they're actually clean. If you're a little worried about any of the calcium or any buildup in tap water, you might rinse it with tap water and then maybe get a few ounces of distilled water and then finish the rinse and kind of get the tap water residue off. But you want to make sure the containers are 100% completely dry if you're going to do that. I usually let them sit with like maybe a after I've kind of drained them, I'll get like a little rubber band, put a little paper towel over the top, kind of let it sit on its side, let a little bit of the moisture come out, and let it dry that way. I'll usually let it sit about a week depending on the humidity. Now let's talk about storage. How would you store these? Preferably you want to store them outdoors. You never want to store fuel inside your home. If I had an apartment, I would probably do somewhere between 5 and 10 gallons of storage. I would like to use like the Katrina as an example. during Hurricane Katrina, a lot of people got trapped in. Now keep in mind, the roads could be blocked that could prevent you from doing stuff. But if gas was hard to get on a run, at least you could have like 10 gallons you could cycle through in between your vehicle. If gas is hard to come by, let's say something pops off, there's some type of global conflict, terrorist attack, they take out some type of refinery, making gas more difficult to get or more expensive, I'd probably run 10 gallons and cycle it through 3 times a year. A lot of apartments have some type of balcony outside storage. Obviously, you never want your landlord to find out about it, because there's some clause in the contract that won't allow you to have it. Whoop, spilt a good bit there. But that's possible. But if it was me and I had a generator, because I have 2 generators. One generator is a Generac. It's a 99. It's pretty good. Haven't had many issues with it. Had to replace the carburetor once on it. And the issue with the carburetor was person I got it from, they left fuel in it, line gunked up. The little float and the pin, kind of got clogged up. The float looked like it started to corrode, and it wasn't sealed properly, and I got some fuel in there, and the pin was gunked up and it wouldn't bob up and down with the float, so I had to replace the float and clean off the pin. And I have a 2008 Craftsman generator, and I believe it is absolutely junk. It's I think it's an 8,000 watt generator. And what I hate about it is it doesn't have any type of oil filter. So I'd say I have to change the oil in there probably twice as often as the other one. I like to use my Generac. It's a little more fuel efficient at a 7,500 watt. But Generac is kind of considered to be a premium generator. Now right here I have a bike lock. I keep it attached to the frame of the truck. Now the bike lock is almost exclusively for me hauling these containers. When I go out and I do errands, I'll usually, and that bike lock's long enough for me to take all these containers, line them up in a U here, with these small 2 containers tucked in right here. Usually do the 2 big, and all 4 of these kind of going around over here. And I can lock them all together. They're not exactly sitting flush. They're kind of pulled together in a kind of a little bunch over here. But I can lock all the fuel tanks together, because I don't know if you've priced these. Containers get expensive. And I guess we'll close out right here. This is one of the Midway fuel containers. Drop that. These are one of those Midway, was it? My bad. Midwest Can Company. These are the Harbor Freight fuel containers. I don't know if you can see. They have a slight inside liner coating. They come with like this little mesh in here, and the mesh, I don't like it because it can like cause a little backspill when you're trying to fill it in. I just took some pliers and ripped it out. It's meant to be like a flame retarder. The mesh is. So if like there's a spark, the gas catches, the mesh doesn't let enough out or something like that, or I get rid of that. And these also came with these caps. This little center part, if I can remove it, is removable, and it's the same type as this. And I hate these, and since I have other hoses and I have a fuel pump called a Thea pump, let me show you that too real quick. Pardon the mess. Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. So this is a Thea pump. I ordered this off Amazon, and I also have a fuel siphon here. So there's the make and model. So it's Korean based. It runs off of AA batteries, I think. Don't mind that. Sorry, I'm doing this one hand. 4 AA batteries. And usually this will get me somewhere around 60 to 80 gallons of pumping. And I have this in case, you know, a girl, or hey, if I want to be lazy too. If it's a small girl, a child wants to fuel something up, it's convenient. You don't have to worry about picking your container up, and this is the intake here. You don't have to worry about picking your container up. It's got an adapter here. You screw it onto your tank, and then you obviously, here's the other end, clip it onto the lip of whatever the nozzle, intake nozzle is. You don't have to worry about scratching up the side of your car. That's the biggest reason for me getting this. I bought it, I think it was around 65, 70 bucks. I was looking at maybe getting a secondary backup one because it's starting to yellow a little bit. I don't leave this in fuel. I only use it when I'm going to use it. I take it out, I put it inside of a trash bag. The standard Glad trash bags don't break down under small exposure to fuel. Gasoline anyway, and that's kind of how I store it to keep dirt and dust off of it. But these are pretty convenient. I definitely run these if I didn't want to worry about trying to scratch up my car. It's also pretty good for boats. You can easily just kind of top off a tank on a dock, or not have to worry about trying to lift it if the water's a little choppy. I like it a lot. Like I said, you could probably run about 60 to 80 gallons through this thing, and I'd say probably around the 50-ish mark, the batteries will be kind of about half and it'll start to slow down. How long will it take to filter out? About 4.5, 5 gallons. On fresh batteries, probably about three-ish minutes, because this is kind of a small little electric intake here. And if on older batteries getting towards the end, it might take in the 5-minute range. Also, elevation plays a big part of how fast this will pump. If you have the tank up, like on a shelf, above like a generator here, like if I had the tank up here and I was just topping that off, and I wanted to use this pump so I didn't have any spillage, obviously I wouldn't run the generator in here, but I say if I was going to fill it up and then drag it out, you know, it would go a lot faster. That might be about a 2-minute fill. Now, if I have the tank on the ground and I'm feeding it up to here, that might take the three-ish minutes or so. So it's really kind of all I have. I'd like to thank you for the views. Thank you for the support and comments. If you want to see any more content, let me know. I can do videos on different topics. Till next time, take care.